Welcome to the MX Unleashed training videos. Before you hit the track, you're going to need some basic motocross riding skills. Press the gas button to accelerate, and use the brake button to bring the bike to a stop. You can steer the bike using either the D-pad or left thumbstick. You can shift the rider's weight forward and back on the bike by leaning the rider using either the D-pad or left thumbstick. A good example of when you need to lean the rider is when riding through a bumpy section of the track known as the whoops. As you approach a whoop section, lean the rider back to raise the front end of the bike slightly. This technique will help you carry more speed through these challenging sections of track. You can also use the lean of the rider to ride on one tire. To ride a wheelie, press the gas and lean the rider all the way back on the bike. To perform a stoppie, lean the rider forward and apply the brakes. Be careful not to lean too far or your rider will lose his balance and crash. MX Unleashed has a powerful new clutch feature that allows you to get the most acceleration out of the bike. To use the clutch, tap the clutch button and lean the rider back to add weight over the back tire. If you time it correctly, the bike will blast off the starting grid much faster than using the gas by itself. Now let's learn about two techniques for turning the bike. There are two ways to use the bank turning berms you'll find around the track. The easiest way to turn is called riding the berm. To do this, simply drive the bike up onto the berm and let the natural banking of the berm help you turn the bike. Sometimes you are better off using a more technical approach to turning the bike, known as squaring up the turn. This technique involves using the brakes and the clutch. To square up a turn, approach the berm at a much shallower angle than if you were planning on riding on the berm. As the front tire of the bike strikes the base of the berm, hit the brakes and steer hard to one side, using either the D-pad or left thumbstick. The bike will slide around and line up with the next section of the track. At that moment, tap the clutch and lean the rider back to blast out of the turn and into the next section. Inside turning berms are much smaller than outside turning berms, and they almost always require you use the brakes and square up the turn. As you continue to ride, you'll develop a better sense for which turns to ride and which ones to square up. Once you've gotten your basic riding skills on, it's time to take to the air. The two most important things to learn about jumping the bike are how to preload the suspension and how to control the bike in the air. Suspension preloading is a way of using the suspension of the bike to get extra lift off the face of the jump, which allows the bike to fly farther. To preload off the face of a jump, press down on the D-pad or left thumbstick when you're at the base of the jump. Then quickly press up. You have to complete the motion before the tires leave the ground. The preload meter displays the amount of preload you generated. If you find yourself over-jumping sections of the track, try preloading a little bit less. Once you get in the air, you still have quite a bit of control over the bike. Leaning the rider left and right will whip the bike flat in the air. You can make minor course adjustments to your flight path by whipping the bike in the direction you'd like to travel. Make sure you straighten out before you hit the ground, and even try to pitch the bike so that both tires touch down safely at the same time. Catching some sick air off a huge triple jump just begs for some high-flying tricks. The trick system used in MX Unleashed allows you to string together multiple tricks into long combos and even land tricks no-handed. To bust a single trick, press any combination of the trick buttons, along with one of the 4 direction buttons, on either the D-pad or left thumbstick. You can extend tricks mid-flight for extra points by holding the trick as you fly through the air. Command as many tricks as you think you can complete in a single jump, and your rider will smoothly link all the tricks together. Make sure that all of the tricks you command can be completed before you land, otherwise you'll crash. These days, tricks by themselves aren't good enough. It's time to learn how to backflip the bike. As you approach the face of a jump, press up on the D-pad or left thumbstick, then quickly press down on the D-pad or left thumbstick. Once the backflip is in motion, lean the rider forward to slow it down, and lean back to speed up the rate of rotation. As soon as you're comfortable with the basic backflip, start adding tricks on top of the backflip to score really big points.